Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to Mark Ogden, Manchester United want Brendan Rodgers over Antonio Conte. Brendan Rodgers is a potential replacement for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So Brendan Rodgers could take over at Manchester United if Manchester United decide to sack Solskjaer. I like Brendan Rodgers a lot. I've got to admire the work he's done at Leicester. He's been Leicester manager for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2025. At Leicester, Brendan Rodgers has won the Charity Shield. He's also won the FA Cup. Before Leicester, Rodgers managed Celtic. He enjoyed a few years at Celtic and he won a few trophies during his time at Celtic. He's managed Liverpool before. He enjoyed one good season at Liverpool. He's also managed Swansea before. Revert back to what I said a while ago. At Liverpool, Rodgers emulated the football he produced at Swansea. A while ago he managed Reading. He's managed Watford, and a long time ago he managed the Chelsea youth. Rodgers is well proven in the Premier League. I think if he came to Manchester United he'd get us back to that level where we should be at, and he would suit the strappings of the club. Rodgers is a far superior manager to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now this morning I gave you the news on Antonio Conte. It said Manchester United lose interest in expensive Antonio Conte as Solskjaer gains a lifeline. The Daily Star said that Conte would demand a contract until 2025 worth an estimated 18 million a year. Sky Italy have already said that Manchester United have made initial contact with Conte. And it said Conte wants the Manchester United job, but the Manchester United board are not keen. It said not so long ago that Conte has reservations about the club's structure. There's a lot of United fans that reckon that Conte would be the man for Man United. Conte has got a good pedigree behind him, won a lot of silverware in his home nation, and he won the Premier League in his first season when he managed Chelsea. So he's managed in the Premier League before. That's beneficial. Earlier on this season, Conte made it clear that he wants a winning project. So reflecting on that, he rejected Arsenal and he rejected Tottenham. Conte is available because he left Inter Milan at the end of last season. There's also some United fans that want Zinedine Zidane, but I'm very sceptical that we'll get Zinedine Zidane because reports have said from Spain that Zidane is not interested in becoming Manchester United manager if Man United sacks Solskjaer. Zidane said that he's enjoying life away from football management. Reports from Spain said the other week that Manchester United contacted Zinedine Zidane because of the recommendation of Cristiano Ronaldo. Zidane's managerless, so obviously he used to manage Real Madrid. Not so long ago, Erik ten Hag held talks with Manchester United. So, there you go. Manchester United will have to pay 7.5 million to Solskjaer if they decide to sack him. Because obviously in the summer, Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year. We made a mistake giving him that contract. And a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. It said the other day that Solskjaer could be in his final week as Man United boss as pressure mounts. The Mirror said that Man United have given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 3 games to save his job, and Manchester United's next 3 games are Tottenham tomorrow, then Atalanta in the Champions League group stage, and then it's Man City. If Manchester United lose to Tottenham tomorrow, then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be sacked. Obviously Solskjaer is going to be in charge for the Tottenham game. That got confirmed earlier on this week. Manchester United are winless in the last 4 Premier League games. The last league game we won was away to West Ham, 2-1. And Manchester United are sitting 7th in the Premier League after 9 games. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. You know, if these bad performances and bad results persist, Manchester United will finish out of the top 4 this season. And then reflecting on that, that will persuade our star players to leave. But in the game against Tottenham, Manchester United have to bounce back from that 5-0 defeat to Liverpool last Sunday. It was Liverpool's biggest ever win at Old Trafford. Liverpool were 4-0 up at half time. And that was the first time ever a team had been 4-0 up at half time at Old Trafford. So from a Manchester United perspective, it was embarrassing. After the game against Liverpool, Solskjaer came out and he refused to resign, and Solskjaer said it was his darkest day as a manager. Recent reports have said that Man United stars are starting to lose faith in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Solskjaer's also lost a lot of fans. This season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager, and I did mention at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer because he's got big expectations to exceed. But like I've said before, I feel as though that the expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager. Solskjaer's lowered the standards at the club, and Solskjaer's in a position that he shouldn't be in. I reckon that Solskjaer's had long enough. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. Solskjaer will not win any trophies as Manchester United manager, and he can't take this squad any further. I just think Solskjaer's done everything he can. But I adore Solskjaer, just like all Man United fans adore Solskjaer for what he's done for the club. You know, Solskjaer is a legend of the club. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. And I've said I want Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager, but I'm being realistic. He won't succeed as Manchester United manager. And the reason he's lasted as long as he has done is because he's a legend of the club. Solskjaer has no proven pedigree as a manager, which is a concern. Plus, a lot of United fans have got strong reservations about Solskjaer's decision making. Analysing the vast majority of the games Solskjaer's managed at Man United is being tactically naive. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. And Solskjaer is out of excuses because Manchester United have got a very good squad. It's a title-winning squad. So in reality, Man United should be winning the Premier League this season. Man United have not won the Premier League since 2013. But the problem is, we're a team of individuals. We're not actually playing as a team. You've got the likes of Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea and that all play as a team, and that explains why they're in a much better position than Manchester United at this moment in time. Manchester United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, spent around £141 million. Made 4 signings, brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Villa, brought Sancho in from Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid and re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Solskjaer has endured 5 transfer windows as permanent Manchester United manager. And Solskjaer received strong backing in the summer transfer window. John Murtough backed him, Darren Fletcher backed him, Ed Woodward's backed Solskjaer, and the Glazers backed Solskjaer, but only because they'd been persuaded to. So there you go. Manchester United have spent around £441 million under the Solskjaer era, and Solskjaer has signed 14 players so far. In the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James, and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January 2020, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Ighalo in on loan. In the summer of 2020, he brought Edison Cavani in, Donny van de Beek, Alex Telles, Amad Diallo and Facundo Pellistri. And in this year's summer transfer window, like I said, he brought Heaton in, Sancho, Varane and re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Solskjaer also loaned quite a few players out in this year's summer transfer window. He loaned Ethan Laird out, Brandon Williams, Andres Pereira, Axel Tuanzebe, Tahith Chon and Facundo Pellistri. Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of players permanently. Obviously sold Daniel James in this year's summer transfer window. He was the only player Manchester United sold in this year's summer transfer window, so that was disappointing from a Man United perspective. Back in January, Ollie offloaded Odion Ighalo, Timothy Fosu-Mensah and Marcus Rojo. Solskjaer also released Sergio Romero and Joe Pereira. Ollie also offloaded James Wilson and Borthwick Jackson. He's also offloaded players like Ashley Young, Valencia, Damian Smalling. Offloaded Fellaini back in January 2019. Also offloaded Angel Gomez, Herrera, Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez. And some progress has been made under Ollie because Ollie's got us to semi-finals. Last season got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. Last season he got us to the Europa League final, and that was his first major final as Manchester United manager. But unfortunately Manchester United didn't win it. And last season Solskjaer got us a second place finish, and in his first full season got us a third place finish. So there you go. And I also like the way Solskjaer develops the youth. I expected Solskjaer to do far worse than he has, to be honest with you. we have enjoyed very good periods under the Solskjaer era. You know, he has brought consistency back in certain aspects, but he's certainly not the long-term manager for Man United. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over the reins at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin, and he knew he had a lot to do when he came in. You know, when Solskjaer gets sacked, he'll be the fourth permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because Man United have sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. Sacked David Moyes, sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. Now, recently, I've been talking with you a lot about Paul Pogba. Now, Mark Ogden said recently that Man United are prepared to let Paul Pogba leave on a free transfer next summer after accepting that he will not sign a new contract. By the way, Pogba's come out and apologised for his actions. He recently said that Pogba wants Solskjaer sacked. Recently, Pogba rubbishes report to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It said Pogba snubbed Solskjaer after the Liverpool defeat. Reflecting on that, contract talks were put on hold. Pogba didn't start against Liverpool, and I heavily criticised Solskjaer for that, but he came on against Liverpool as a substitute and he got sent off for that 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita. Now obviously Pogba has got a 3-match suspension, so he's going to be a big miss for Man United. Earlier on this season though, Andy Mitten from The Athletic said that Manchester United offered Paul Pogba £400,000 a week to stay at Old Trafford. That would see Pogba become the second highest earner at the club. At the moment, Pogba receives around £290,000 a week. And Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a Man United contract, and earlier on this season it said Pogba's very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. But Manchester United are going to sell players next year. There's a very, very good chance that Martial will leave next year. Martial doesn't really get in the team. He's been out with injury as well. And he's no longer good enough to represent the club. I recall Martial having one good season at Man United, and that was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Before the start of this season, though, it said Solskjaer refuses to sell Martial, as he remains part of his plans. Solskjaer seems to have a lot of trustworthy in Martial, because Solskjaer was the one that gave Martial that number 9 shirt. Earlier on this season, it said Newcastle wanted Martial, and Newcastle made formal contact with Martial's representatives. Newcastle planning to spend a substantial amount after their takeover by the Saudi Arabians was completed earlier on this season. It said earlier on this season that Barcelona are considering making a move for Martial next year. Martial's been a long-term target for Tottenham. Atletico Madrid were in for him last summer. Martial rejected the chance to join Lyon on loan on deadline day. And before the start of this season, it said Inter Milan wanted Martial to replace Lukaku, because Lukaku went back to Chelsea. Martial's been at Manchester United for like 6.5 years. He's got a contract with Man United until 2024. And he scored 79 goals for Man United in all competitions. Last season, he was out with a knee injury for a while. I think Cavani's going next year. Cavani has made an impact since he's come in, so I can't say I want him to leave. Cavani was out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani has under a year left on his contract. Back in May, Cavani signed a 1-year contract extension and he's on over £200,000 a week. And earlier on this season, he said Real Madrid want Cavani on loan. I presume Barcelona could reignite their interest in January because Barcelona tried to get Cavani on deadline day in the summer transfer window. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG, and he was also a long-serving player when he was at PSG. Jesse Lingard, I think he's going next year as well. Lingard doesn't really get in the team. Lingard's planning to run down his contract anyway, because earlier on this season it said Lingard rejected a Man United contract offer because of 2 players. And the other month it said Lingard rejected a Man United contract over playing time concerns. His current contract at Man United expires at the end of the season. And ESPN said not so long ago that Lingard is a target for Barcelona and AC Milan. I think Solskjaer wants Lingard to stay at Man United though. You know, Lingard's been part of the club for a long time. At the second half of last season, Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham. Donny van der Beek, I think he's going in January because Van der Beek is not getting enough game time at Manchester United. And he is a good player, Van der Beek, but I haven't had much of a perception on him at Manchester United because he hasn't been given enough game time, like I said. Solskjaer needs to be starting Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League. Prior to the game against Liverpool, Solskjaer did admit that Van der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. I don't think Solskjaer wants Van der Beek at Man United. If he wanted him there, he'd play Van der Beek on a regular basis. Van der Beek's endured a difficult 18 months at Man United. You know, this season is his second full season. We got him in a deal worth 40 million. With add-ons included, he's got a contract with Man United till 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. I think Juan Mata is also going next year. I think Matic is going next year as well. I want Manchester United to sell Fred next year because Fred's not good enough to represent the club. Man United overpaid for Fred, got him for 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. I think Tellez is going next year. Tellez is a good player but doesn't get in the team enough. He only plays when Shaw's not available. The reason we brought Tellez in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. I think Jones, Bailly and Dalot are also going next year. And I think Dean Henderson will go out on loan because Dean Henderson's already said he wants a loan move away from Man United after De Gea reclaimed the number 1 spot back. So hey guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.